everyone, and welcome back to Frequency Writer, Color the Magic, and Whole Soul Mastery. I'm Marie Mohler, and I'm an author and a creative spirit and a cosmic messenger of the rising spiritual hero's journey, ascension journey, that is, because we are experiencing the hero's journey or the heroine's journey. We're going to touch on that today, but in the ascension times. So there's a moreness to the entire scope of the journey than maybe was present in other centuries, decades, timelines for other heroes in their own journeys, right? We are living in these modern times right now today, and the challenges that we're facing are very significant in the context of ascension times. So, the challenges that we're facing of old structures and paradigms and thought systems and belief systems and all of those conditionings through the centuries that we've picked up in our ancestry, all of that is changing. And whether people are aware of this or not, it is on fast forward. This world is flipping into a whole different spectrum of consciousness, of quantum consciousness, that is. There's a quantum financial system emerging. There are new abilities for us to be divine creators in this divine creation. And we're waking up to all of those things. But more and more people are going to see the old paradigm structures and systems and leadership and governance and all that falling away because it just doesn't fit with the new octaves of higher consciousness. We've talked about the new earth, but I'm really starting to believe we are returning to the original creation. And we've just been in an anomaly. We've just been in kind of a wormhole in creation, whatever we call this illusion of the 3D matrix. We are actually in this ascension process exiting that matrix and stepping back into the true divine creation again. So we're going to touch on a lot of these topics, a lot of that moreness that a lot of us may be feeling right now, and also using the lens of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and also bringing into this conversation as well my friend Justy Renson, who we just podcasted, that podcast posted this week about the 7 stages she identified and developed for the heroine's journey. And I would recommend that you take a look at that as well, because there were some great insights in her own personal story and the quantum leaps that she made to be where she is now in her life as a teacher and educator and facilitator. And we're all making those quantum leaps. And so, as you listen to the podcast with Justy Renson about the heroine's journey, as you listen to my video about the hero's journey, I think the ascension journey is the marrying of those two worlds, right? The insights coming from our divine masculine and divine feminine selves that want to integrate into wholeness. So, let's take a look at the big picture review for October 2024. And let's take a look at the energies that many of us are experiencing as we continue to roll through these tests, allies, and enemies, as we continue to approach that inmost cave, which is the stage just before the big stage number 8, which is called the ordeal. So we're getting closer and closer to these biggie experiences. And I think they are not just in storybooks. This universal heroes and heroines journey is actually unfolding in our daily lives right now, right here today. So thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And let's take that deeper dive into that big picture review. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be talking about, we've already spotlighted this. We're going to be talking about stage 7 in the hero's journey as identified by Joseph Campbell. It's called Approaching the Inmost Cave. And as we feel the context of that in this conversation today, we're also going to be reviewing strengthening our resolve to face the upcoming ordeal. We're going to talk about gleaning courage from those tests, allies, and enemies we've faced and may still face. And we're going to focus on lots of related energies and threads to the spiritual heroes or heroines' ascension journey. So, in today's big picture review for October and soon to be November 2024, we are in the final weeks and months of the year, right? We're in the final weeks and months of 2024. It is like zipped by. Quantum momentum is picking up speed, if that's even possible, as the infusions of light on the planet increase as well. We know that light infusions are just pouring into this planet, right? Higher and higher and higher octaves of energy are coming to us from the central suns and the core of that wisdom. So we really need to be focused on self and soul care. That's essential right now, in my opinion. Of course, we know about self care, but how are you taking care of your soul? How are you nourishing yourself at a soul level? We need both. We need both self and soul care in these times. And in my opinion, that's a real priority for me. And so I built in more time in my days, or I just let it unfold organically, but I make sure that I make time or time is created for some stillness, for some time with myself and some deep breathing or being out in nature where I really reset and I really connect with my spirit. It's so important these days. And a lot of people have been sharing with me about the tests that they've been facing. Whether that's people that experienced the recent storms on the East Coast in Western North Carolina or in Florida and some of the other surrounding states that also experience flooding and effects from those storms. Some people are talking about just seeing things in the world kind of being upside down and things kind of shaken up and people behaving in kind of strange or just pretty wild ways and not very conscious ways and difficulties in relationships that have kind of spiked up and people are having to use their discernment and also step up with their boundaries for their own self and soul care, but also probably setting some boundaries that maybe for a long time needed to be set in relationships and now it's actually happening. I'm facing some of those tests myself. You think you heard that in the last message? I think we're all going through it right now, right? No one is immune to this expansion of energy in these ascension times. And today we're going to be talking about the approach to the inmost cave. It's a stage that some might think, I said this before, but some people might think that approach to the inmost cave, like it's just like this little creeping approach, like you're tiptoeing towards the ordeal. The approach to the inmost cave as outlined by Joseph Campbell and portrayed in many of our novels and in movies, it's a huge stage. And there's, very dangerous or challenging or stormy circumstances that is a very valid and robust stage unto itself. So it's not just a little tiny bridge in the journey. You don't have just little slippers on and you're just tiptoeing towards that inmost cave. It is a big, big stage in the journey that calls out even more soul skills for these times. Yeah, it's actually quite a feat in and of itself to move through and journey through this stage, approaching the inmost cave. There's a lot for us in this stage. It will call all of our soul skills, the lessons learned and mastered, et cetera, to the forefront of our consciousness. We're going to be calling out the skills that we've developed. And if we don't have some skills that we need, we have the skills of calling in more skills, right? So it's really activating the moreness of us for the moreness of these times. When your energy field and consciousness are clear, you are much stronger. You feel much more fortified. Your foundation is more grounded, right? When it is murky by our waffling thoughts or belief systems or our choices, or we kind of sit on the fence about things, that definitely creates some murkiness. Our stagnancy in our personal and soul development, if we've kind of hit a plateau and we kind of like where we've been, it's in my experience in these hero's journey, and we're in the ascension experience of the hero's journey now, right? So I don't think there's a lot of room for stagnancy, and people trying to hold on to what was could also be a very unique struggle. Also, is our not learning and growing in some way that is aligning with our spiritual and soul path, right? And our connection with God's source, right? Our energies can easily be hijacked or triggered or usurped in some way by that very matrix, which there's been this cabal or serpentine energy for centuries and centuries of time, for most of known memory that people can actually access and that we've been conditioned into. If we're not paying attention, if we're not growing and evolving and embracing the changes and shifts in the consciousness and the light infusions that are coming through, and in that complacency, people may be more easily hijacked or triggered or their energy usurped in some kind of fear based way instead of standing in your God power, your soul strength, right? Your core foundations. And when that happens, when people get hijacked or triggered or go into fear and indulge all those energies of overwhelm, it calls us into lower frequencied thoughts, vibrations, and choices, right? We often can't see clearly when everything gets murky in our energy field and we're being infiltrated by the matrix itself in some way. Then the true you, your divine self, can't see the forest through the trees, right? You can't see clearly, which makes it hard to make clear, soulful choices, which is why this work is steadily being summoned inside us to do the inner work, to fortify your spirit, to fortify your soul, and to fortify your strength, which is that connection with source, that connection with your conscious breathing, that connection with your passions and what you love, that connection with your creative spirit and your creativity and nature and all those things. This is all part of reflecting back to the self and soul care and making it a daily practice. So, we are here to rise up and beyond the 3D's illusions and invitations to participate in all the distractions it's going to continue to offer to us. It's going to take that whole soul mastery to color the magic back into your life, to be a frequency writer in your own way, a frequency creator in your own life that is manifesting a higher frequency octave of the timeline that you do want to be living in, your optimal timeline, basically, so that you're not giving your energy and life force to the 3D matrix. It doesn't mean you're never going to see anything from the 3D matrix, but if you can get to that place of sacred neutrality where you're just not animating and you're not activated energetically by any of those things. And what does that require? It requires people doing some of their own research. I think the people that are having challenges in their lives that they don't understand, and there's a lot of people that are good souls, right? That are light warrior, light worker beings. They can still have unpleasant things happen in their lives. None of us are immune to that. But if we haven't done our research where we've understood what some of the big picture is, the war, the spiritual battle going on for the soul of humanity, if people don't have a context for that, then it's a lot harder to see that there's a war going on at all. And it's almost like a tsunami that comes out of nowhere, that by the time it dawns on the people who have not been doing research, it's going to come crashing over them in an epic state of overwhelm that I don't even think there's words for, because they simply weren't doing it in the bite-sized doses that people who are answering the call of their soul, the call of the hero, the call to adventure, the people who have refused that call up till now. And I believe the hero's call to adventure and the heroine's call to adventure has gone out to everybody. This is a time to recognize we're all in this grand adventure. This planet is not going to be the same in 5, 10, 15 years. It is just not going to be the same. So people who are refusing that call and not seeing those signs of invitations that are coming on a daily basis to learn, to study, to figure out what is this spiritual battle she's talking about? Where do I see evidence of this? Do I see evidence of this? Where can I go looking? What is the cabal? What are these things? Some of you, or many of you listening to this video, already have an inkling that there have been some things going on and that we haven't been told the whole truth, not just in the last year or 5 years or 10 years, but for centuries, in the conditionings of like controlling what's been in print and controlling the media. And it gets into whole big rabbit holes that we're not going to get into today. But I want to say is the people that are overwhelmed, that are of the light, that do have good hearts, that feel like they want to have some humanitarian projects. They want to help humanity. They want to help animals. They want to heal the planet. They want to clean the oceans. They want to help the mountains. All the things where we can clean up this earth. If people are struggling because they don't know what to do or they feel like they lack purpose, in a lot of those messages, what I really hear is they're not really tuned into what's going on, and they're not really tuned into the remedies of what's being built out that is going to solve the crises of our times, the challenges of our times. And so the more people study, the more empowered they can be, the clearer their choices can be, the clearer their soul sight is, the stronger their root foundation is, and the stronger they are in the storms of whatever those might be, whether it's a literal storm or it's a storm of information of any kind. I mean, we have an election cycle going on here in the US at some level, in my opinion, in a kind of a movie that's playing out, because we've been in an illusion for so long, there's barely any truth left. But whatever that sea of confusion is going to be, people need their strong inner core. They need that strong source connection and source union, conscious breathing with source, that partnership, and that awareness of preparedness to do some homework to understand what could some of this big picture mean. And if you already know some of the big picture, but you're not feeling utter joy and bliss and seeing this new world emerge, where can you go to find some more information about that, right? A place to start looking is just into the financial system, where the quantum financial system, a new system of commerce and currencies, and maybe going back to a gold standard. There's a lot of things happening that are going to change and fortify our lives. But people who are missing that and all the threads that are connected to why that's happening are missing the boat. And when you're missing the boat, people are in the waters. They're in that vibrational soup trying to tread water while the stormy waves are just lapping on top of them again and again. So I like to get grounded. I like to be in my own boat or actually have my feet on solid ground and do the best I can about that. And I make choices that support that. So I don't feel uprooted. I'm in a very grounded space most of the time when I start my day. And when I feel uprooted, which has happened to me in the last few weeks as well, in my tests, allies, and enemies cycle, probably also in this approaching the inmost cave, I also have these revelations of where do I get triggered? Where do I feel some angst still? Where do I feel uncomfortable? Where am I not being authentic with my true self, my whole self? And then how can I take steps that are more comfortable for me to step into my whole iceberg living, which we're going to talk about, but that wholeness inside myself? Because when I'm feeling some kind of angst, that tells me that something is out of alignment and I need to listen for what's out of alignment. And then I need to take the steps to do the inner work to align those things so my strength and my fortification comes back. So I'm like a huge, massive, maybe 100 or 200 or 500-year-old tree that has deep, deep roots in the earth and that has for centuries. Those are the kinds of roots we need now. So there's a lot to be aware of. Awareness is one of the first preparednesses. Conscious breathing is another one. We've talked about that a lot on this channel. So, as we recap, we are here to rise up and beyond the 3D's illusions and invitations that will continue to come our way. The 3D matrix is not going to stop the invitations. We are just going to get more and more practiced and masterful at not accepting those. We can witness them. We don't have to avoid them and run away from them. We can witness them, but we don't give any energy to them. And if we're giving energy to them, then we have some inner work to do so that there comes a time where you can witness it, just witness that darkness, witness that confusion, but you empower the light of what you are creating and where you do want to go. So 2024, 2025, and this whole decade, all the way to 2030, really the next 5, 10, 15 years is when, from what I'm learning and studying, is going to be the greatest growth and change that this planet has ever seen, greatest transformation. And with that said, 2024, the remainder of 2024, 2025, and the rest of this decade until 2030s at least, are calling out to the divine creators, the people who can access that divine creative energy, that quantum creative energy. So the question is, who is hearing that call? Who is heeding that call? And who is honoring that call, like answering that call? There's a song in one of the past number of weeks called Answering the Call that I've put out here in some of these videos and on the playlist on Color the Magic. So you can listen to that Answering the Call. A lot of these songs are about the hero's journey, the heroine's journey, and we can all listen to some of that musical empowerment as we take our next steps this next week and beyond. And we do it from a very empowered and very centered place. So hopefully some of my songs today, I have some new songs to share, will fortify you in this journey to choose your authenticity, to choose this integration of your wholeness, right? Your masculine and your divine traits, the weaker aspects of you and the more masterful aspects of you, right? Because all of that is coming together to create and help us to access by frequency, admission is by vibration, your optimal timeline for your soul to keep rising and thriving and moving into this divine creation, the true divine creation, God's true Garden of Eden. I think we are in this time of a return. And I actually have been more conscious of my language because New Earth doesn't fit the language for me anymore. I don't think it's new. I think we're actually just removing what was fake, what was an illusion, what has been the matrix, what has been the trap, the incarceration, all of those games of the enslavement. It's been our consciousness and our language and our finances, our financial freedom that has been enslaved. We have not had the freedom. And that is what's returning to us. So that is in this new robust ecosystem, this new robust quantum divine creation reality that really is interdimensional, multidimensional. And we're going to be experiencing this in the next number of years. You hear Elon Musk talking about it. More and more articles are talking about space travel. More and more articles are talking about new currencies. More and more articles are talking about asset backed currencies. A lot is changing if people will simply pay attention. And paying attention is a form of awareness, and awareness is a form of preparedness, right? So let's talk a little bit about whole iceberg living. I've already mentioned that my friend Justy Renson was just in a podcast. We're going to podcast again in another few weeks and have something for you as well to expand on that conversation. But she presented 7 stages that she identified in the heroine's journey. And it was a very different, more feminine experience of the journey. And she basically was showing the differences between the hero's journey and what the heroine actually feels from her perspective. And I found it very engaging and very compelling. It was very interesting. I think we might need to know both of these protocols or stages of the journeys that parallel each other, because sometimes we are more in our masculine energy and we might be facing some tests, allies and enemies. But the feminine is so communal, and she's so much more oriented to sisterhood and community and those things, that the journey is different and the hero's journey is more individual, right? So you have that individual journey of the hero and that more collective journey, the heroine's journey of wanting to connect into the larger village, the strength of community. So very, very powerful. I'd recommend you watch that podcast if you have not yet done so. And so I think that whole parable of the hero's journey that Joseph Campbell essentially organized for us, right? And the heroine's journey that Justy's putting together, maybe some other people have talked about it as well. I think she referenced that in the podcast. She's not the only person talking about the heroine's journey, but there aren't as many people talking about that. If we married those two journeys, would that be more like whole iceberg living? If we have this consciousness of what does the divine feminine inside us all need? And what does the divine masculine inside us need from the hero's journey's insights and the contextual stages that we all go through and the skills that we're activating in both sides of creation through the heroine's journey and the hero's journey? Maybe that is leading us more to the whole iceberg living. So there's ultimately the ascension journey, or journey of coming into our divine wholeness, which is integration. That's the activation of our soul site and the embodiment of that, and our heart connectedness again. That is definitely something I'm seeing emerge in more and more people who are awake to the spiritual battle going on, and increasingly through their inner work, releasing their attachment to the battles and the illusion that's losing. Remember, you lose in the illusion. And so the illusion is losing because truth withstands scrutiny so well. So well. It may take years and decades and centuries, but we're at that point for truth to rise and shine again. And all of us are summoned to embrace the changes that is creating in our consciousness, in our thoughts, our belief systems, in every aspect of our lives. We are called not just to know about them, about the changes, to know the change is happening, but to embrace the opportunity to actively participate in the changes, right? To actively and willingly and embracingly embody the upgrades that are happening in every single cell in our bodies. And that means every single particle of our conscious awareness that makes you, you, and me. This same energy is infusing all of the structures that were built according to serpent standards and serpent manipulations and serpent usurpations. That can be all the systems of our world. And so I don't necessarily know that like a curtain's going to fall down and they're all going to crumble and we're going to see this crumbled wall of the old paradigm. But you're going to see, just watch and witness some banks failing, some educational institutions failing, them closing whole departments because they're losing funding. Losing funding isn't just because of inflation. There's a lot of educational universities and school systems that have been promoting the serpent's agendas in education. All of this stuff, anything that was not God created, is going away in some way, shape, or form, whether it's quietly, whether it's loudly, it's happening. And so we bring back in those messages of witnessing the darkness, not giving it any energy, but witnessing it, know that it's happening, staying aware, studying, learning, growing, uncovering things, digging to uncover the truth, seeking the truth, and then also embracing the light where you see it starting to rise and shine and saying, that is a God code. That is a God company. That is a God mission and project. I see that a lot in so many areas of my life. And I wonder if you are too. So we are all being upgraded on a mass scale cellularly, consciously, in every single way, right? But the beautiful thing is we go through these changes. The more you know, the more empowered you are, the more you're able to just witness with neutrality, the unpleasant stuff, and the more you can reach inside for the soul skills like the hero or heroine you are to transcend any of the tests, allies, and enemies, crossing the threshold tasks, any of these approaching the inmost cave, the ordeals that you might be going through, or I'm going through, or the world is going to go through. When you know what the story is and you know the plot points, you know the protocols, you know the stages, you have a language for what's happening. And I personally find that so, so exciting and empowering in otherwise very disempowering and very confusing times. Okay, and so with that said, I have a couple of quotes from Joseph Campbell and another quote from Christopher Vogler that speak to this approaching the inmost cave. So Joseph Campbell has said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Fear of the unknown is our greatest fear. Many of us would enter a tiger's lair before we would enter a dark cave. While caution is a useful instinct, we lose many opportunities and much of the adventure of life if we fail to support the curious explorer within us." I love that expression right there, the curious explorer within us. The school system, in many ways, because it has you, you're given the information that the cabal systems or the serpent systems want you to know in education. Then they test you and grill you on that very information, and they give it to you year after year after year. And so what happens is in some people, in a lot of cases, that curious explorer just withers, right? And melts away. But what I'd love to see is that the world finds that special spark inside of the curious explorer that is innate inside us. The creative inside you is the curious explorer and can seek without fear, can enter the cave without fear, because inside the seeking for truth and inside entering that cave, if you can get beyond your fear, is the treasure you seek, is the source of whatever it is that you're looking for, right? That's a powerful quote from Joseph Campbell, one to remember. And here's another quote from Joseph Campbell that basically says the same thing, but very succinctly in one sentence. "The very cave you are afraid to enter turns out to be the source of what you are looking for," right? Instead of avoiding and turning and running or pivoting away, sometimes we have to go right into that storm. We have to go right into that cave. We have to go right into what feels like unknown or uncomfortable, right? Or confusing, knowing that we have the skills to deal with whatever that is. If you've already faced some tests, allies, and enemies, you're going to call up the skills that you called to yourself when you face those things. Every step of the journey impacts the next one. So if you're already at stage 7 and you are experiencing some of these things and you've already answered the call, you've met the mentor, you've faced refusing the call, right? These different things that we've done, right? Crossing the threshold. We've had the test, allies, and enemies. Now we're at the 7th stage of approaching the inmost cave. You are shoring up your resources. You are checking all your bags, all of your weapons, all of your defense mechanisms, all the things that keep you strong, all the things that are self and soul care. You're doing an inventory and say, how strong is my root of my tree that is anchored deep in the earth? How strong is my chakra pillar? How strong is my consciousness? Can I handle some enemy or villain or whoever it might be heckling me or mocking me or challenging me in some way? Can I handle that? Can I handle somebody discrediting me or dismissing me or in some way not valuing me? Whatever these challenges are that might be coming into your life sideways or diagonally or up and down or however that's going to happen, or just face forward, right? Whatever skills you needed to transcend those previous encounters are skills you're going to need as you face this inmost cave. We're going to define that inmost cave very soon. But that's a good quote, because we don't want to turn away and avoid what is ours to do. We want to go into the caves that are ours to explore and recover the soul skills and the treasures that are waiting for us inside there for our multidimensional awakening, right? For this new quantum living, this embodiment of the true creation that's happening. We are setting ourselves free with knowledge, with wisdom, with that courage, with the courage to enter the caves. That's the next step. And then there's one more quote from Christopher Vogler. He talks about, though these setbacks may seem to tear us apart, they are only a further test of our willingness to proceed. They also allow us to put ourselves back together in a more effective form for traveling in this unfamiliar terrain. We're about to face an even bigger ordeal than what the inmost cave presents to us. So all these things are designed to fortify our resolve, to fortify our strength, to commit further to the journey, to know that we are going to go the distance, right? We're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And we're going to get more and more efficient. We're going to get more and more effective. We're going to learn a lot about ourselves. And we're going to be going through this process of greater integration, this greater wholeness. We face our fears, we check out our weaknesses, we let them show up, and then we work with that, right? We put ourselves back together again and again. This is part of the journey. Absolutely. So I'm not going to review this too much today, but change can be an acronym, and the letters in the word change can stand for compassion, healing, awareness, nurture, growth, and empowerment. That also speaks to that self and soul care. And so we're listing for how we want to continue to do that in these times. We also often review the hero's journey parable that was popularized by Joseph Campbell in his book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And his parable can be broken down into three distinct stages: the initiation, the journey, and the return. We are still in our conversations here talking about the midpoint, that journey. We're talking about this approaching the deep cave or a point of no return, marking a turning point in the journey. We are in kind of like the latter part, the latter stage of the meat, the crux of the journey, gathering those skills, really fortifying that soul strength, that soul sight. So those are the three distinct stages. Then we can just review briefly again the stages of the hero's journey. Now we have the heroine's journey. So maybe I'll start including that on some slides in the future. Or you could just attend the podcast with Justy and I talking about what she's discovering in that process for women and for the divine feminine in all of us. But to review the hero's journey as identified by Joseph Campbell, you have step one. Stage one is the ordinary world. Stage two is the call to adventure. Stage three is refusal of the call. Stage four is meeting the mentor. Five is crossing the threshold. Six is tests allies and enemies. We're talking about stage seven today, approach to the inmost cave, where the hero approaches a critical moment of confrontation or revelation, often symbolized by an inmost cave or a place of great danger. When you see authors or in classes, if you search the web, your browser, for the hero's journey, and you see there's a lot of websites for writers about writing in effective stories, and they follow this hero's journey sequence, right? And when they're coaching people how to write about the stage seven approach to the inmost cave, they're talking about there's this mounting tension, there's this mounting danger, there's this stress on the main character, the hero, that they're not going to avoid this. They're not going to turn back. They've already committed to the journey, but everything about them is going to be tested. And this is not the ordeal yet. This is still just more and more and more squeezes. And it creates this scenario where this approach, if they're trying to like get around, some dangerous swamp or something, one path is blocked, then another path is blocked, and then they have to swing through a tree or something, and then the tree branch breaks. It's like almost everything that they're trying, there's challenges with it. It's just really, really giving them a lot of tests. Again, you're getting more and more comfortable with the tests. You're getting more and more comfortable with the danger. You're getting more and more comfortable with the squeezes on their consciousness and the fortification, that courage that has to be summoned forward, and the ingenuity, that instinctive creativity that can think beyond the box of whatever it is that they're in the big squeeze that they're experiencing in the inmost cave. Then we have stage 8, the ordeal. That's coming up soon. 9, the reward, seizing the sword. 10, the road back. 11, the resurrection. 12, return with the elixir. So we'll be getting into those, next 5 stages in the coming weeks. But today we're focused on the approach to the inmost cave. So I borrowed some information today from a website called Thought Co. Okay, thoughtco.com. So I appreciate their information that I have on the screen. I have just a couple of screenshots from this article related to the approach to the Inmost Cave. They're talking about Christopher Vogler's work, The Writer's Journey, Mythic Structure. I think that's where a lot of these insights about the hero for authors comes through. And that's that quote that we heard about just a little bit ago about the setbacks and basically persevering and, integrating ourselves, all that we're learning in that process, becoming more effective, more efficient. It comes from Christopher Vogler. So let's read this about the approach to the Inmost Cave. The hero has adjusted to the special world and goes on to seek its heart, the inmost cave. Oh, so the inmost cave is the heart of this special world that they're in. They left the ordinary world. Now they're in the special world. Think quantum world. Think new QFS. Think new structures of God's true divine creations and, a creativity that will be off the charts as long as it's in alignment with the integrity and the heart and the kindness and the love in divine creation, right? So we're going to be experiencing that. We are entering this special world. We are leaving literally the 3D ordinary world that's the illusion. And so this hero passes into an intermediate zone with new threshold guardians and tests. So it's an intermediate zone. That's a great way to explain that. It's past the tests, allies, and enemies. It's another level of threshold guardians and tests. She approaches the place where the object of the quest is hidden and where she will encounter supreme wonder and terror, according to Christopher Vogler. Okay. She must use every lesson that she's learning to survive, that she's already learned in her earlier tests, right? She has to use all of that. She has to be ingenious, right? She has to be light on her feet. She has to be agile. She has to be listening for what is next to do and her intuition, right? The hero often has disheartening setbacks while approaching the cave. She is torn apart by challenges which allow her to put herself back together in a more effective form for the ordeal to come. She discovers she must get into the minds of those who stand in her way, Vogler says. If she can understand or empathize with them, the job of getting past them or absorbing them becomes much easier, right? So she can kind of transcend the challenge if she can understand. She wants that understanding, which is why I'm saying seek the truth, right? Understand more of the spiritual battle. You will be able to navigate whatever your challenges are if you actually understand the context of why you're challenged in the first place. What's the bigger picture of the challenges? And then this article goes on to say the approach encompasses all the final preparations for the ordeal. Step number 8. It brings the hero to the stronghold of the opposition, where she needs to use every lesson she has learned. She's going to need it all. She needs it all. So that's part one of that conversation. And then they give an example in this article of basically the Wizard of Oz, right? So they talk about Dorothy and her friends, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion, face a series of obstacles, enter a second special world, Oz, with its own unique guardians and rules, and are given the impossible task of entering the inmost cave, the Wicked Witch's castle. Dorothy is warned of the supreme danger in this quest and becomes aware that she is challenging a powerful status quo, right? Because I guess all the munchkins and everybody else have just put up with it at Oz. She's actually taking it on. There's an eerie region around the inmost cave where it is clear that the hero has entered shaman's territory on the edge of life and death, Vogler writes. Scarecrow is torn apart. Dorothy is flown off to the castle by monkeys, very like a shaman's dream journey. The approach raises the stakes and rededicates the team to its mission. The urgency and life or death quality of the situation are underscored. Toto escapes to lead the friends to Dorothy. Dorothy's intuition knows she must call on the help of her allies, right? Her allies. So important now. She has to call all those lessons learned, and lessons include the allies. The reader's assumptions about the characters are turned upside down as they see each person exhibiting surprising new qualities that emerge under the pressure of the approach, right? They might admit their cowardliness, right? It says the villain's headquarters are defended by fierceness. Dorothy's allies express misgivings. They encourage each other, and they also plan their attack. They get into the skins of the guards, enter the castle, and use force, the Tin Man's axe, to chop Dorothy out, but they're soon blocked in all directions like the impossible, right? This is a classic hero's journey right here. It's depicted in so many of our stories. Many of you know that. but you have your own heroes or heroines journey going on right now. And when you can recognize where are the monkeys, the flying monkeys in your life, right? Where is your scarecrow being deflated and torn apart, right? Where is this life or death quality of urgency of situations that you have to make really clear decisions in a murky world right now? This is coming up for all of us. And so I just wanted to reiterate that we're using the lessons and skills gained in facing the earlier stages, but especially the stage 6 tests, allies, and enemies. Now we're in level 2 of that, right? That they just said, that intermediate zone of facing tests and guardian thresholds. And we're preparing for the bigger intensity and challenges that characterize the upcoming ordeal. I'm grateful there is a little bit of a, intermediary zone so we can fortify even further before we have to face the ultimate ordeal. There's some grace built into the classic universal hero's journey. So let's just say this: we are all facing tests, allies, and enemies of one sort or another. I'm guessing. And if you're not, that is just absolutely wonderful. But I would say if you are, it's because there's growth happening in your journey. There's an expansion happening. There's a calling out of new skills or ancient skills or other dimensional skills, whatever it is, it's inviting you to grow. Can you feel that call to approach a significant cave in your life, either a deep inner one or a foreboding, daunting outer one, right? Whether that's a physical outer cave of some kind. There can also be an inner cave that we have to face ourselves, our deepest secrets that we've tried to avoid seeing and keeping, and we've tried to keep it from ourselves. Remember your soul skills and the many other tests that you have already faced before this. These tests and challenges, now that you're having that intermediate level, are necessary for the journey ahead. Through them, we are gathering everything and everyone we need to be as ready as we can be for the ordeal, which is step number 8. It's so good that Dorothy had already met her allies before she goes into this next level of challenges with the witch and the castle and the next set of stressors. Okay, and so with that, I have about 10 soul songs to play for you that reinforce this energy that we're talking about, the approaching the inmost cave, fortifying your soul, and conscious breathing, and a lot of the soul skills that we talk about. And of course, we'll finish with a song related to Color the Magic, because when we're tested and we're pulled this way and that, and it requires every lesson we've ever learned, we're also invited to color the magic back into a very bleak world that seems impossible at the moment. If you look at The Wizard of Oz, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I imagine the witch's castle is gray. It's interesting that I'm wearing a gray shirt today, right? Because there's this energy of like the world has gone gray. It's lost its magic. It's lost its luster. It's lost its color. While we're going through these ordeals, and while I was going through the biggest ordeal of my lifetime, this lifetime, I was encouraged by my higher self and my guides to color the magic and literally start creating with color. So these are the songs. That's how I bring them to you. Color the Magic, a series of soul songs. So here we are. We're going to listen to song number 1, and it's called Hero's Journey. And there's been others that have been titled this. It's part of how the AI generates the titles, and I just kind of stick with that. But it's the Hero's Journey song for week number 7.
Under skies of fire, I walk a path untamed. Echoes of ancient whispers calling out my name. Mountains shake, your shadow shift. The night is full of tales. I seek the hidden strength to lift my spirit past these veils. Dreams where dragons dare to fly, I find a bed of roses beneath the stormy sky. Whispers of a mentor's voice guiding me through the night. Rest now, brave warrior, your heart will soon ignite. Hero on a quest with a fire in his chest. Time to breathe, to rest for the trials up ahead. Lessons learned from the past, in the silence we find gold. Embrace the tests and trials as the next chapter unfolds. In the quiet moments, wisdom seeps into my soul, preparing for the ultimate fight, reclaiming what was stole. Underneath the moon's soft gaze, I prepare for the fight. On with courage and with faith, I step into the light. In the great lessons learned from the coast to the yesteryears, with fortitude and strength I'll conquer all my fears. Hero on a quest with a fire in his chest, time to breathe, to rest for the trials up ahead. Lessons learned from the past, in the silence we find gold. Embrace the tests and trials as the next chapter unfolds. Hero on a quest with a fire in his chest, time to breathe, to rest for the trials up ahead. Lessons learned from the past, in the silence we find gold. Embrace the tests and trials as the next chapter unfolds.
Yeah, powerful song, The Hero's Journey. They really touch on a lot of the things that are in all the earlier stages, weaving a lot of those lessons learned that we've been gleaning this whole time. But I like that they talk about seek the hidden strength to lift my spirit beyond these veils. They talk about the mentor's voice guiding them through the night, the hero on a quest with a fire in his chest, that it's time to breathe for the tests and the trials up ahead. And in the silence, and as we embrace the lessons learned, we find gold, right? The treasure is there for all of us, right? If we'll turn into this invitation to approach the inmost cave. Okay, so the next song is called Divine Warriors.
Stormy skies, toes in water so cold, newness awakening, stories untold. Questing for freedom while facing our tests. Heart of divine warriors taking the best. Leaping through shadows where daylight might fade. Chasing the feeling that never betrayed. Purpose is calling, can't silence this roar. We are the fighters, we seek something more. It's the heart of the warrior, strong and true. Leaping with faith in all that we pursue. Facing the trials, no fear in our eyes. Living our purpose beneath stormy skies. Lightning and thunder won't shake our resolve. Mysteries beckon and fears we dissolve. Standing together, our spirits align. Warriors dancing on the edge of time. Awakening dreams in the midst of the night. Our hearts full of courage, we climb to the heights. Questing for freedom with battles unknown. Here in this moment we carve out our throne. It's the heart of the warrior, strong and true. Leaping with faith in all that we pursue. Facing the trials, no fear in our eyes. Living our purpose beneath stormy skies. It's the heart of the warrior, strong and true. Leaping with faith in all that we pursue. Facing the trials, no fear in our eyes. Living our purpose beneath stormy skies. It's the heart of the warrior, strong and true, leaping with faith in all that we pursue, facing the trials, no fear in our eyes, living our purpose beneath stormy skies.
I love that song title, Divine Warriors. I know many of us might feel as though we are these divine warriors. We feel like we've come through time to be here for these times. So to have a song that sings to those aspects of ourselves is really powerful. Certainly, the first line of the song talks about stormy skies and newness awakening. And there's this lyric of purpose is calling, can't silence its roar. It's the heart of the warrior, strong and true, leaping with faith in all that we pursue. And we're living on purpose beneath storming skies, facing trials, no fear in our eyes. Many of us are living this right now. It takes great strength and courage and fortitude, but I believe that we have practiced for this time for many lifetimes, for this now time. So it is a time to call in this mastery. And what's ushering that in is this context of the hero's or heroine's journey. So powerful. Okay, epic journey within. Let's listen to this one.
Climbing hills through stormy clouds, fighting demons, shouting loud. Eyes on fire, hearts unbowed, trusting footsteps in the crowd. Descending into shadowed caves, seeking truths that split the waves. Voices whisper, don't be frail, courage prevails where others fail. Calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide. With preparation on our side, we're ready for the ride. Calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide. With preparation on our side, we're ready for the ride. Whoa. Reflection in the silence grows, lessons learned become our clothes. Holding on the courage shows, path ahead is where we go. Deeper inside ourselves we find hidden power, mind aligned. Facing darkness, passion glows, our hero's journey tightly flows. Calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide. With preparation on our side, we're ready for the ride. Whoa. Whoa. Calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide. With preparation on our side, we're ready for the ride. Calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide. With preparation on our side, we're ready for the ride. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
I love that it really speaks to that epic journey within. And I like these lyrics with preparation on our side. We are ready for the ride. Preparation. We've talked about a lot about preparedness, and it starts with the breath and it starts with awareness. These are the first preparations, right? Union with source. Deeper inside ourselves, we find an empowered mind calling out our strengths inside, resilience we won't hide, right? We're calling out that state of resilience, that state of being able to make anything possible out of the impossible. We're doing it. A lot of us are like gaining strength in the journey. This next song is called Transcendence. Let's have a listen.
Transcending time and space we soar, rise beyond limitations to explore, flying free in our dreams tonight. Embrace the courage, hold on tight, creating new worlds with every thought. Old world crumbling, don't get caught. Light's embrace is calling your name. A brand new dawn, no need for shame. Transcendence in our hearts we'll find. Limitations left far behind. Dreams are wings we'll use to fly. With courage, faith, let's touch the sky. Walking through old ruins of yore. Eyes on horizons, we crave more. New light guides us through the night. With glowing hearts we'll shine so bright. Fear dissolves as dawn breaks clear. Leave behind what finds you here. Open up, let spirits flow. Let the world see your inner glow. Threads of faith weave our path anew. Immerse the color, brave and true. Transforming shadows into gold. With every step, new worlds unfold. Ooh, ooh,
Okay, Transcendence. That was such a beautiful song, and it's such a beautiful energy because we are ending the trance. We are transcending, transcendence, right? Transcending time and space, we soar, rise beyond limitations to explore. And then transcendence in our hearts will find limitations left far behind. I love this line, dreams are wings we use to fly. And then these couple last lyrics that I spotlighted, leave behind what binds you here. Let the world see your inner glow. And transforming shadows into gold with every step, new worlds unfold. Again, we're letting the old paradigm and games and illusions fall away. And we're actually stepping into giving our energy, our light, our creativity towards the new worlds that are unfolding. It's happening. Totally happening. And I love having songs that are a match to those frequencies of what's emerging. Quantum Creation is the next one. Let's have a listen.
Take a breath, one for the challenge. Honor it with heart's true courage. Breathe two for sacred neutrality. Floating in grace, pure reality. Feel yourself suspended in air. Mind and spirit truly aware. Inhale the magic of the unknown. Exhale the shadows we've outgrown. Quantum creation in the night. Co-create with love and light. Next steps of bliss on holy ground. Feel the rhythm, hear the sound. Breath number 3. creation in the night. Co-create with love and light. Next steps of bliss on holy ground. Feel the rhythm, hear the sound. In this realm I stand in awe, manifesting dreams with ease, in harmony with cosmic seas. Every breath a step to take, in this journey we awake, with the universe as guide, meet destiny with arms open wide.
That song, Quantum Creation, was a creation using the 1, 2, 3 quantum co-creation insights that I've shared before. And if you really listen for it, you'll hear it in the song. They start with take a breath, 1 for the challenge, right? Honor it with heart's true courage. Breath number 2 for sacred neutrality. Feel yourself suspended in air. Right? And then quantum creation in the night, co-create with love and light. And then breath number 3, aligned with God. In this realm, I stand with awe, manifest dreams with ease, in harmony with cosmic seas. Mostly that song is singing that 1, 2, 3 process of quantum creation. And if you need a reminder of that, this song is here for you to enter that vibrational space, to take a breath for the challenge, a breath for the sacred neutrality when you're ready. And after that second breath, and you really are in that space of divine and quantum and sacred neutrality, you can take that third breath to create anew with God. So beautiful. Okay, the next song, I wanted a song about the iceberg, right? Whole iceberg living. So let's have a listen to Iceberg Vision.
Iceberg living, seeing in the deep. So vision clears fears, keeping us asleep. Awareness sets us free, we rise to the peak. Beyond all limitations, obstacles so bleak. In the twilight of dreams we open our eyes. Oceans of doubt turn into clear skies. Darkness melts away under our steady light. We're carving our path, we'll take this flight. We're breaking the mold, no longer hold the cold depths of mind, now shimmer gold. Time to soar higher, inspired by fire. Our spirits ignite, dreams take us higher. Of yesterday fuel our desire, breaking the chains, lifting us higher, embracing the truth beyond the facade. With courage and hope we'll walk the promenade. Iceberg, beneath it's our hidden scars. In the light of clarity we heal our hearts. Darkness melts away under our steady light. We're carving our path, we'll take this flight. We're breaking the mold, no longer hold the cold depths of mind, now shimmer gold. Time to soar higher, inspired by fire. Our spirits ignite, dreams take us higher. We're breaking the mold, no longer hold the cold depths of mind, now shimmer gold. Time to soar higher, inspired by fire. Our spirits ignite, dreams take us higher. Of yesterday fuel our desire, breaking the chains, lifting us higher. Time to soar higher, inspired by fire. Our spirits ignite, dreams take us higher. No longer hold cold depths of mind, now shimmer gold. Time to soar higher, inspired by fire. Our spirits ignite, dreams take us higher.
Okay, Okay, Iceberg Vision. I love that song. I love what it talks about. It definitely sings that whole iceberg living, seeing in the deep. Soul vision clears fears, keeping us asleep. There's many more messages in there, including this one. Awareness sets us free. We rise to the peak, right? There's all these elements of it takes awareness to really embrace the whole iceberg that's us, the scars that are in the deep, the gifts that are in the deep. It's time for a lot of that to surface. I'm so grateful to be able to share that song with you. All right, let's listen. There's four more. Let's listen to Whispers of Grace. This song is all about humility. And I know also at different stages of the hero's journey, whether it's with yourself or it's with somebody else, there are moments when humility is our strength, is the gift. It's how the lessons are returning home inside us. So let's have a listen to Whispers of Grace.
In the quiet moments, we find strength. Living simple, humble, honest lives. Willing hearts like rivers flow and bend. Grace moves through us like gentle tides. Soft whispers of the wind through trees teach us how to be still and free. With open hearts we kneel with ease, embracing life's serenity. Peaceful steps on ancient paths we tread, guided by the light within our souls. With every breath, humility spread. In stillness, we find our roles. Beneath the stars, we lay down our pride. In the silence, we begin to see. True wisdom blooms from deep inside, rooted in humility. With courage we embrace the calm, listening to the whispers of the night, moving with grace away from harm, carried by the moon's soft light. In this inner work we weave our fate. Integrity guides our every move, living lives as quiet as a lake. In our hearts peace we approve.
I love that Whispers of Grace. In the quiet moments, we find strength, living simple, humble, honest lives. I know a lot of people are looking for that simplicity as well. So, in addition to returning to divine creation, there's also an instinct or an interest or impulse to move in the direction of authenticity, humility, peace, and simplicity, right? So, guided by the light within our souls, with every breath, humility spreads. Beneath the stars, we lay down our pride. True wisdom is rooted in humility. That's some of the lyrics from that song that I pulled out. So beautiful. Again, I love that this will be in a playlist, and I listen to it myself through the weeks in between these video messages. Three more songs, and they all relate to Color the Magic in some way. So, this next one is called Blessings for All.
Color the magic, open hearts wide. Dreams of faith taking us inside. In the whisper of a cosmic tide, true selves we won't hide. Celestial realms paint the skies. Notes of stars fill up our eyes. Into earth where spirit flies, higher than all earthly ties. Blessings fall off from up above. Waves of light, pure as love. Time to soar like a dove. In this embrace we're dreaming of. Remember who we really are. Shine like a guiding star. Journey near and travel far. Hearts open like a jar. Ascending of reality. Melodies of serenity. With each note we set free. A symphony of infinity. Blessings fall off from up above. Waves of light, pure as love. Time to soar like a dove. In this embrace we're dreaming of. Waves of light, pure as love. Time to soar like a dove. In this embrace we're dreaming of.
So, Blessings for All, what a great song. Talking about color the magic, open hearts wide. Dreams of faith taking us inside. Celestial realms paint the skies. Blessings for all from up above. Time to soar like a dove. Remember who we really are. Shining like a shooting star. So many beautiful lyrics in that song. Again, a lot of these songs that I've been creating with the help of the AI also are to speak at a level of frequency to you, to remember who you really are. Remember back to the Lion's Gate, there were a lot of songs about remembering who you really are. Lion is still trying to remind us to remember. The next song is called Quantum Flow, and there's one more after this. So let's listen to Quantum Flow.
Above, trust in the feeling from deep inside. A quantum flow takes us through the night. Healing unfolds when hearts collide. Storm clouds darken but don't replace the shimmering glow we create in the race. Intuition guides with a silent grace. Through dark times we move at our pace. In the quantum flow we dance so free, transcending time, just you and me. When the color the magic and find our home. Echoes whisper through the hollowed halls, voices of wisdom in the night calls. Healing hands grasping straws, building bridges over broken walls.
Beautiful. In the shadows, we rise above. Trust in the feeling from deep inside. In the quantum flow, we dance so free, transcending time, just you and me. When the world seems cold and all alone, we color the magic and find our home. That's like accessing your creativity. That's accessing your creative life force. That's partnering with source in that one, two, three of quantum creation, right? Standing next to source and really listening deep inside for what you want to create next because we are powerful creators. These songs are reminding us of this. And last song is called Celestial Dreams. Let's have a listen.
Color the magic, open hearts wide, deep inside faith, where dreams reside. Time to remember who we truly are. Waking to the light of a distant star. Color the music of celestial skies, echoes of love, where the real truth lies. Ascending earth with blessings in hand, holding each other in this promised land. Let's paint the night with colors bold. Our dreams are silver, our hearts of gold. In every whisper, in every song, we find the place where we belong. Visions of wonder in each passing day, such radiant hues we dare not sway. Unified voices rise up and sing. In this world of beauty where angels take wing, let's paint the night with colors bold. Our dreams are silver, our hearts of gold. In every whisper, in every song, we find the place where we belong. Let's paint the night with colors bold. Our dreams are silver, our hearts of gold. In every whisper, in every song, we find the place where we belong. Let's paint the night with colors bold. Our dreams are silver, our hearts are gold. In every whisper, in every song, we find the place where we belong. Belong, 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 belong. Let's paint the night with colors bold. Our dreams are silver, our hearts are gold. In every whisper, in every song, we find the place where we belong.
Okay, I just love that energy of celestial dreams, just the title alone. But color the magic, open hearts wide, deep inside, faith where dreams reside. Time to remember who we truly are, waking to the light of a distant star. I think many star seeds are feeling that. We are waking to the light of the central suns. We're waking to the light of the true creation. And then one of the lines in that song that I just made note of, we find the place where we belong. I think many of us know that we belong in a higher frequency and a higher dimensional realm. And I'm not calling as much the new earth anymore, but we're returning to the truth of divine creation, right? We're returning to the garden. It's a return. So I love that song, Celestial Dreams, and all the songs I played for you today. They're really there to help you access that higher frequency and knowing inside yourself. And the last thing I wanted to just talk about and spotlight a little bit more was the whole iceberg living. Approaching the inmost cave can be daunting. It also holds our greatest treasures, right? So it can be daunting and it can hold our greatest treasures. It seems to be a powerful key that unlocks our bigger iceberg's hidden elements, aka our greatest gifts. Many may hear this, but relatively few go seeking or find the fortitude to continue on in the path if they're already in the path and resist the urge to return, to turn back to the ordinary world, the familiar, what you've already been living, what you know. The good news is that our greatest gifts will wait for us in the heart of that whole iceberg living for when we are ready. It'll patiently and persistently wait. Truly ready to enter that, when we are truly ready to enter that inmost cave in preparation for the ordeal. We all have divine free will, and transformation of this nature, of this level, is always a choice, right? Change is inevitable, but transformation is a choice. Ascension really is a choice. It's a choice to raise your vibrational octave and see into this new emerging timeline of God's true creation and stepping out of the illusion. It is a choice to do that. And that whole iceberg living represents a lot of that, right? The inmost cave where we might face our deeper scars, and the inmost cave where we can recover our greatest treasures, our biggest talents and gifts. Okay, and with that said, I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to invite you to join my Substack page, which is frequencywriter.substack.com. My frequencywriter.com website basically now just hosts my ebooks from my Shine Your Light book series, and also the Freeing an Incarcerated World film trailer and some information about the film that is still in the process of getting made. But if you are seeking any new blog posts or videos, they can be found through my Substack account or on YouTube. You can visit with me at Color the Magic on YouTube. Visit with me at Whole Soul School and Foundation. There's a great treasure trove talking about treasure of videos about the hero's journey and also about personal transformation, people telling their stories in some of the archived videos there. And you can find both Whole Soul School and Foundation and Color the Magic or Frequency Writer, Whole Soul Mastery. You can find videos on Rumble, Twitter, True Social, and Telegram. You can find Whole Soul School and Foundation mostly on YouTube at this point. You can also listen on some of your favorite streaming platforms. You can listen to Whole Soul School and Foundation and the Whole Soul Mastery podcast and my videos on Spotify, iTunes, etc. So I invite you to please subscribe and share this video. And I want to thank you for visiting with me today until the end. And I'll see you again soon for another inspirational podcast, message, or musing as we round the corner into November and more things that are going to be unfolding on the planet as more shakes up out of the old paradigm and more of the true divine creation is ushered in with light. So blessings, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.